Welcome back to the Redline podcast. We're here with Manny and Andrew. Manny being a 3-time fantasy league champion.
Damn right.
So we're here to debate positional rankings by ESPN and offer our fantasy input. So to start, we'll start with quarterbacks.
Yeah, sounds good.
Top 10, we got Mahomes, Luck, Rodgers, Watson, Ryan, Newton, Mayfield, Breeze, Wentz, and Wilson. What do you guys think about them?
I don't know. I think I got a bone to pick with this one. I think some of them are out of place. I really do.
I agree with that.
I don't think
Cam Newton is too high.
I don't think
Newton's
he's
too high. I think Luck's too high.
And he scares me with that shoulder injury too.
I think Luck's
Luck
too
is
high.
not
Luck's too high.
I think Luck and Mahomes are 1 and 2.
What weapons does Andrew Luck have? T.Y. Hilton and then
Eric Ebron.
Oh, please. One good year, I'm not giving him that.
One
good year.
Good year after he was stuck with what's-his-face? Matt Stafford his entire career.
They claimed he had a dropping issue.
Bum.
They claimed he had a drop issue.
I don't think Luck's that should be that.
I think
top
Luck,
10, yes, but
Luck has been doing it with T.Y. Hilton for years.
And what playoff pedigree does he have?
It doesn't matter about the playoffs.
Game.
It doesn't matter about the playoffs, though.
We're talking fantasy.
Fantasy only matters about the regular season. It's like saying
think
Peyton Manning isn't a good regular season quarterback or a good fantasy quarterback because he's only good in the regular season. He only has to be good in the regular season.
I also find Deshaun Watson at the 4 interesting, and I think that has a chance to be accurate.
You know, I think I put definitely Drew Brees over Deshaun Watson. I don't know why Drew Brees is number 8.
I'd put all these guys over. I'd put all these guys over.
I feel
Cam
like
Newton.
it must be age. That's the only thing I could add.
He doesn't show any sign of slowing down.
If we continue down the list, we also see Tom Brady at number 17.
Yeah, but the Patriots don't have any wide receivers. Or what the wide receivers that they do have are very questionable outside of Edelman.
And they lost Brown.
Well, it's because Brady, like the past couple of years, like besides obviously his MVP season, like after that, it's even though like they've been obviously a solid team, they won the Super Bowl, but like he's not a fantasy quarterback. He's like,
but he has been good fantasy-wise.
They
averaged 17 last year.
Yeah,
I think.
Wait a minute. Am I reading this right? Is Jameis Winston above Tom Brady?
Yeah, I was just about to point that out.
Jameis Winston, the Buccaneers had the number 1 passing offense last year, so that's something to speak. They had the number 1 passing offense. They play from behind a lot, and I honestly think that James Winston is going to benefit so much from Bruce Arians.
Oh, he probably will.
Bills. Them two being there, James Winston's going to benefit. He's going to ball out. Are they going to win a lot? No. Are they going to make the playoffs? No. Is he going to be good for fantasy? Absolutely.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo should be higher than 21.
He's coming off a torn ACL.
He's coming off a torn ACL, but they got Tevin Coleman, and he's a receiving back. He can get dumped out for like 12
I think
plus
the
yards
Patriot fan is coming out here.
I mean, that's all. That's all Tevin Coleman does.
I mean, yeah, but
who else are you gonna throw to?
Yeah,
Marquise Goodwin.
What, he had 500 receiving yards?
But they have a lot. They have a lot of other weapons.
He had 500 receiving yards this season.
They have weapons.
George Kittle's a weapon.
Exactly.
And he's a tight end.
I do like
but he's
that.
a tight end baller. I think he's gonna ball out.
Is Garoppolo gonna be okay after that torn ACL?
That's what I'm saying.
He's young. You know, that stuff gets to your head, and
it's not even that. He's not. You lose your quickness. Look at a guy like Gordon Hayward. You go get hurt like that. Obviously, it's a lot worse of an injury, but those kind of injuries affect your play.
Physically.
Another thing, I think Rodgers at the 3. It doesn't surprise me one bit. ESPN dick rides Rodgers, but I'm not surprised one bit by it.
I think he's gonna have a bounce back year now that there's a new coach. He's not. I think, hopefully, I'm hoping that the Packers will actually run like a modern offense.
I will give Rodgers credit. He was trapped in a bubble with Mike McCarthy. And now you bring in Matt LaFleur, and I think Matt LaFleur will change that offense.
Even with Favre, I mean, obviously he was like, a great quarterback when he was, with the Packers. But, like, they were still running, like, a really old offense. Like, nothing to do with, like, it was just, like, ground and pound the ball every single time. They would never use their tight end. And they wasted Jimmy Graham there because Jimmy Graham, even though he's not, they used him as a blocking tight end, which he's not. He's a receiving tight end, and they passed it to him maybe like once, maybe twice a game. They rarely targeted him, and Rodgers can use a tight end very, very well.
I mean, they did just sign Mercedes Lewis to a 1-year deal.
He was a sleeper in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I liked him.
So, I mean, maybe he could fit in with Rodgers really well.
How old is Mercedes Lewis, though? Isn't he like 36?
I mean, age is just
fine
a number.
wine.
Ask Tom Brady.
I think, speaking of sleepers, Mitchell Trubisky. Okay. I am on the Trubisky train.
I liked Trubisky last year. Like,
what Matt Nagy did in that team, he turned them around.
He was here.
He proved that his coming out party was against New England.
So I really
when they lost.
Wait,
yeah,
but
lost.
What he had 45
fantasy
points.
He had a hell of a game. But
yeah, he did.
This is a fantasy show. 45 fantasy
that's
points.
True,
that's
a
coming out party to me. I picked him up after. I started him against New England. I rolled him for a couple more games, and he was going for 21 a game.
Yeah, I had Mitch on
But Jordan Howard leaving Chicago, that's a big loss for them because then
definitely
Tariq Cohen is not a 3-down back. He's just not. And he's a receiving back.
So that's why I think the issue is that with Trubisky, because the soul of Chicago's offense now flows through him, and I don't know if he has the balls to do it. I really don't. I haven't seen him in enough pressure situations.
Yeah.
To really have the confidence for him to succeed.
I just think he's
that
got
type of role.
Andrew Miller came alive towards the end of the season. Allen Robinson, those guys. He's got
these aren't big name threats.
Taylor Gabriel, he was a beast. In Atlanta, I loved him. He was a sleeper.
But to me, that sounds like you're just saying, like, I like this guy.
I'm just saying, it's just they're all good.
Are you calling
players.
it objectively, or are you saying I like this player?
I'm saying
there's a difference.
They're good players. They are.
They are.
Andrew Miller was a good player. He was going for 10 points a game.
10 points. I mean, are you trying?
I'll take
to
that
find...
on a flex.
Right.
Any day.
I think finally ESPN accurately put Matt Stafford at the bottom of the quarterback list because he is a bum.
Yeah.
He is a bum, and
I put him above Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson is not a quarterback.
Same. I would put
he is a running back.
But he does put up the fantasy stats, and if you have a threat of getting a rushing touchdown almost like every other game, that's
put him above
good
Josh Allen too.
I put him above Sam Darnold. Put him above Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
so,
I think he
I put him above Dak Prescott.
No weapons.
I'm kind of surprised Kirk Cousins is as low as he is too. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is Johnny Unitas here, but I mean with the weapons that they have, I mean, don't you think that Cousins might be a little bit higher?
I think so. I traded for Cousins last year.
Yeah, I have. I traded with you.
Yeah, I traded with him. Now I wanted Cousins last year. You know,
Kyler's,
if you got Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen on the same team,
I think that's what I'm saying.
All he needs to do is deliver the football, and they'll make it happen.
I mean, I know
he's right. Dalvin Cook came alive at the end of the year.
He did.
Kyler Murray's at 18, but I honestly don't know why because they don't have any weapons.
David Johnson.
David
Johnson, if he actually produces this season.
No, Kyle Murray. I think he's gonna.
He did all right, but like he was top 3. He was supposed to be top 3 last year, and I didn't trust that. He was off an ACL tear. You never get a running back an ACL tear.
And then he broke his wrist the next year, and missed the whole season.
Something like that.
So if draft obviously coming up, people.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah.
There's no clear-cut number 1 pick this year.
Yeah,
was that
definitely.
right?
Well, I was gonna say in terms of quarterbacks, how would you guys want to divide this up? So like,
where are you picking Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes,
is he a second rounder or is he third?
I think
fourth?
he's second or third.
Yeah,
I think he's 2 or 3.
It honestly depends on who you're drafting with and all that. But if you're smart,
because I mean they don't have Kareem Hunt anymore.
If we're talking,
it all depends on how long Tyreek Hill is out.
But they don't.
Or if he's out for any games.
He still balled out with no Kareem Hunt last year.
I mean, but Tyreek Hill's a huge weapon for out.
They got my guy Guapo, Carlos Hyde.
If Tyreek Hill's out for 4 weeks, I think he drops down to like 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah. Well,
because then you have only Kelsey to pass to. I mean, you have Sammy Watkins, but like he was off and on last year. He had so much potential. Yeah, he had so much potential and just didn't really live up to it.
Yeah, I put like Mahomes, Luck. I put them two in the same tier. Try to get them really
Mahomes
good.
and Luck, I think are 1 and 2. I think that's accurate.
Yes. Going down that list.
Baker. Baker's a guy.
I don't think I could put Aaron Rodgers below.
Baker's gonna be up there.
If you roll the dice with Baker, it's either you don't know how that locker room's gonna look week 8. middle of the season,
Definitely.
you're not going to know how that's going to look.
There's a lot of ego.
There is a lot of ego. It's an ego-driven locker room. You don't know how it's going to look. But take a guy like Baker Mayfield with the weapons he has, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, David Njoku, Kareem Hunt after 8 games, Nick Chubb. That team, that offense is unbelievable.
Second half of the season, I'm looking forward to see what the Browns are like.
Like I said, it's an ego-driven team, and like it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep that role if they get on a roll.
How do you feel about Carson Wentz, though?
At number 9,
overpaid.
I mean, just in general,
overpaid, overrated.
About in terms of fantasy, I mean, it's a guy that has a ton of injury questions.
The Eagles made the wrong decision. They should have
stuck with Nick Foles.
Because they could have traded.
What do you guys
think?
think?
They could have traded Carson Wentz for a buttload of assets, like so many assets. Could people actually still think Carson Wentz could be potentially that guy? If you had kept Nick Foles, you still have a quarterback that won you a Super Bowl. You know, I hate that they won a Super Bowl, obviously, but he still won you a Super Bowl, and you can still get a bunch of assets for it. Because starting quarterbacks in this league are hard to come by, and I think if
you can get a guy like Nick Foles,
yeah, I think you.
I mean, good on the Jaguars for signing him, but I don't know if Nick Foles can exist outside of that Doug Peterson system. Because when he went to the Rams in St. Louis, he didn't do anything.
Well, that was with Jeff Fisher. To be fair,
but here's my point. But can he exist outside of Doug Peterson?
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. So is Nick Foles really that great? And I'm not saying Doug Peterson's a great coach.
Or
was it just that perfect of a match?
Doug Marrone is a good coach. Jeff Fisher is not.
I'm saying Nick Foles in Philly is a better option than Carson Wentz.
I don't know. I think Carson Wentz just
fully healthy. Carson Wentz
has that raw talent, and I think he's had the injury history, but he's still pretty young in his career. Medical science is above anyone else since ever. I do think that Wentz can bounce back. Is he going to be a world beater? Is he going to be Pat Mahomes? I don't know, but that's what he's going to have to prove this year.
Is Pat Mahomes going to repeat his season?
No, without the weapons.
It's going to be very hard.
I don't think so either.
50
touchdowns.
Maybe
later on in his career, but that's all.
Like you tied Tom Brady's record in your second season. Your first season, fully starting.
He's got a lot to live up to, and if he doesn't hit it, it's sort of. It's going to be a big disappointment for the Chiefs, I think.
They expect a lot. Too much from him, if you ask me.
They expect Super Bowl.
Well, is that too much? I mean, after basically you got into overtime against the Patriots.
I think
is that too much
if D4 doesn't line up off sides, Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's a good point.
Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl if D4 doesn't line up off sides. And the Rams did. They would have beaten the Rams. Jared Goff is not all that.
Not ready.
He's not ready for the Super Bowl.
We also don't know how Pat Mahomes would have played in the Super Bowl too. So
I think he would have balled out.
I mean, yeah.
I think the Chiefs would have beaten the Rams in the Super Bowl.
I think so too. But
I think it would have been a much more
It wouldn't have been a Monday Night Football 54-51, but it would have been.
I think it would have been a much higher score because Belichick just built a scheme to completely stop the Rams, absolutely stop them.
Now to hop off the quarterbacks just a little bit, me and Manny touched on it earlier. There's no clear-cut fantasy first pick this year. True or false?
That's true.
Now, what do you guys think? I think in years past, it was like a toss-up between AB and Le'Veon Bell 2 years ago. Last year it was Gurley.
I think it really is hit or miss this year.
There is no clear-cut this year.
No, I think I could agree with you that there isn't a clear-cut one.
I think it's between Saquon and Christian McCaffrey in my book.
I love Saquon Barkley, but the Giants... I don't know. Their offense.
I think now they have Golden Tate. They actually have somewhat. They still have somewhat of a passing threat, but with Eli Manning at the helm, I just don't think.
Just no more.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they just moved on.
How early would you guys take James Conner?
James Conner.
Not that. I picked Mahomes before Conner.
I say low end.
RB1 or RB2?
No, he's obviously an RB1, but.
I think he's an RB1 too.
I think a high end
towards
RB2.
the end of the first round.
I think he's a low end RB1.
If you can get him, high second round, I think that's a win.
Yeah, if you can settle for him high second.
And another guy that's always just up there is Alvin Kamara.
Oh, I think
because he did lose Mark Ingram, but they got Latavius Murray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Latavius Murray's just like a Mark Ingram, in my book.
Yeah.
And I think a guy like Zeke's always up there too.
But actually, this morning, a report just came in that he might be holding out.
Who?
Zeke. Yeah.
Really? I didn't even see that.
Hold on.
Is that the text? Is that the text you sent that said Zeke is the new Bell?
Yep.
Now that Dak got paid, maybe he's holding out.
I think.
Who's the other guy that was holding out?
I don't think they'd pay him. He can't stay out of trouble. Zeke cannot stay out of trouble.
I agree with that.
If he can go a full season without staying out of trouble, I'd say sure, pay him. But he can't stay out of trouble. So
here's my thing with Zeke. He gets 20 carries a game and he'll go for 120 yards. Fantasy, you see 20 carries and you only see 12 points on the board. I'm getting a little frustrated as a fantasy owner. That's why I traded his ass last year. I drafted him in the first round with the 4th pick, and then God help me, I drafted Devontae Freeman in the 2nd round, expecting a big year out of him. He did nothing. I think he played 2 games. And
yeah, you really
Zeke,
bust last year.
I picked him in the 1st round, expecting a big year out of him, and it says Zeke may hold out for contract. Elliott has privately said he'll sit out training camp if he doesn't get a new deal. Interesting. And then under that, the notification under that says new charges filed against.
Exactly. Puts a hammer right there.
That's what we were just talking about.
Another guy.
Shout out to Bleacher Report.
Another running back who's holding out is Melvin Gordon.
If they don't pay him. They'd be a fool.
If they don't pay him, he wants to trade.
I would pay him.
Who was it when the Patriots were heading to the divisional round? People were saying that the Chargers had a pretty good backup running back too. That they were saying
Austin.
Right. So
Austin Eckler.
Yeah. So
Austin Eckler.
The Chargers really that
back. Is he a Melvin Gordon?
No.
He's not Melvin Gordon, but I mean, again, I know this is a fantasy show, but
we can shy away.
But is Melvin Gordon really worth that cash when you can spend that on re-signing Joey Bosa or helping Keenan Allen? Exactly.
I think you can find. I think history is showing you can live without a running back, and some teams are leaning towards.
Like you said, you can live without a running back, and Phillip Rivers is very underappreciated in the league.
Oh,
no, he is not.
Yes, he is. He's underappreciated.
He is not.
He's very underappreciated.
He can't perform in the postseason. That's just a fact.
He's still underappreciated.
He can't. He chokes in the postseason every time.
He balled on a torn ACL in the postseason.
That was against the Patriots too.
Beast.
He still sucks in the postseason. He had 1 game where he played on a torn ACL.
If it's a fantasy.
I mean, we're talking fantasy.
You're talking fantasy.
I've had him in years past.
You're saying he's unappreciated.
If you can live without.
But you're just saying he's unappreciated.
He is underappreciated. He's a good quarterback.
And he's not though.
I honestly think he'd be a top 5 quarterback if he throw as many interceptions as he does.
Yeah,
but you can't say he'd be a top 5 quarterback but he does. So therefore, he's not.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is
well,
true.
If we're putting Andrew,
the numbers he puts up.
If we're putting Andrew Luck as a top
that's literally like saying Matt Stafford can be a top 10 quarterback if he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions.
We're putting Andrew Luck as a top 2 quarterback this year, and he led the league in interceptions last year.
Who?
Andrew Luck.
Yeah. To be fair, the running game was Marlon Mack.
Marlon Mack is good.
Only in a couple games where he was really effective though. The game plan was give Luck the ball, throw it down the field. If you look at it, his throwing percentage, he throws way more than everybody else. Like Peyton Manning type of throwing stats. He just throws the entire game.
Big Ben heaves the ball all game. That's why.
Which I found crazy because if you have James Conner, why would you don't need to throw? You don't need to throw the ball that much.
So,
but let's get back on the fantasy.
How does Le'Veon Bell do?
How early do you pick Le'Veon Bell?
Oh, I don't pick him within the first 6 rounds. I really don't.
First 6 rounds?
No, I wouldn't.
Hold on, let Andrew have the floor here.
Okay.
I really wouldn't because I think most of the offense is going to flow through him, but the rest of their offense isn't that great anyway. So defense are going to key. The Jets still stink. It's a new system. Under a new head coach. Adam Gase was terrible with Miami already.
Adam Gase is an overrated coach.
I don't think
he's a great coach.
Pure rust. You can't really convince me that Le'Veon Bell's coming back into the season and he's ready to play at NFL speeds.
Right? Round 6.
Yeah, that's. I think there's some better running backs on the board.
I'd go round 3, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a little early too.
Between 4 and 5, is that the happy medium?
I think 4 and 5 is a happy medium.
He's not going to go down there.
I think that's when I would pick him though.
Yeah.
He does get, but look, there's such a high reward if you do pick him because that offense is. Just
if you can get him
completely through him.
If you can get him in the 3rd round, I'd take him.
Exactly.
I'd take a running back and wide receiver in the first 2 rounds and then take him in the 3rd round.
Give a late 3rd round draft.
If he's still there, take the chance on him.
He's not my RB1
because
no, not RB1. He'd be a solid.
Because
RB2
if your first 2 picks turn out to be good, like how first 2 picks should be. And you can have Le'Veon Bell and take that chance because Le'Veon Bell is a top 2. He's a first round talent, but you don't know how he's going to perform.
So if I'm looking at the list of all positions right now, if I had a wish list of 10 picks I could have, go Saquon, McCaffrey,
definitely McCaffrey,
Melvin Gordon, Alvin Kamara. Well, this is standard, so it's all running backs for the most part.
Yeah.
If you gotta throw a receiver in there, D-Hop, Devontae Adams, those 2 have to be there. Juju's gonna have a big year. That offense has to go.
Good year.
That offense, that throwing wise, has to go through him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's gonna step up. He's gonna have a bigger role than Antonio Brown did, because Antonio Brown had Juju on the other sideline, and Juju balled out last year. I think he had. How many touchdowns did he have? 90 plus yards?
I have no idea. Don't quote me on stats ever.
Okay, yeah, I think it was 3. But Michael Thomas. If you're in PPR, definitely. Michael Thomas has to be up there. Because he gets so many receptions.
Michael Thomas, I think he's probably my number 1 receiver.
My number 1 receiver is Juju. It really is. He's going to have a huge role. And he balled out last year. I don't know, but are you...
Le'Veon Bell's going to have a huge role too, but we're still picking him in the 3rd round.
Le'Veon Bell took a year
wide
off.
Receivers.
Juju.
My number 1's D-Hop.
D-Hop, I said scratch that D-Hop.
Michael Thomas is my number 1 receiver because if I'm going... I think about it sort of like who's running that offense. And if you're thinking about Mike Tomlin, Sean Payton, Bill O'Brien... There's only one of those I really trust to run my offense, and that's Sean Payton. Plus, you got probably...
You don't trust Mike Tomlin?
A top 3 quarterback, not top 3, but top 5 quarterback in the history of the league as your quarterback with Drew Brees. I think I would go Michael Thomas every day.
Where are you guys picking in Antonio Brown?
I'm not touching AB. I do not want him on my roster.
I like the connection between him and Derek Carr.
Spike, if you're listening... I don't like Derek Carr still. Still don't like him. I just don't think he's all that as a quarterback. I think he has too many times.
I mean, he has to.
Well, Spike said he didn't turn the ball over in however many games. I just look at him throwing. I don't know. Look at Amari Cooper. He did nothing in Oakland.
Yeah.
He gets a senior change. Dak Prescott, not much an upgrade. Balls out. Out in Dallas.
I think Dak is good. I just don't think he's worth that.
I feel like you're gonna try to give AB the ball too much.
They're probably gonna force feed him.
I gotta pull this out.
I just wouldn't trust Antonio Brown as far as I can throw him.
What about
the fact that he walked out on the team means I wouldn't ever want him on mine.
What about Mike Evans?
Mike Evans is always at security. He's always security.
I would draft Mike Evans. Solid big receiver, gets a lot of yards, a lot of volume in a passing offense. Especially now that Bruce Arians is there, the quarterback whisperer. That's a safe pick.
He fell to the 3rd round last year because
Bruce Arians. Everyone on that Tampa Bay offense is going to benefit Bruce Arians. He's a great coach. So is Todd Bowles. He just couldn't really get it going.
Well, Todd Bowles is the defensive coordinator, so you don't tell me the offense is going to be great with Todd Bowles.
But this is just a side note for all everything that Oakland acquired. It was Trent Brown, Vontaze Burfict, Isaiah Crowell, Mike Glennon, Ryan Grant, Jonathan Haskins, Dwayne Harris. I love Dwayne Harris.
Wasn't he already with them?
Oh, he re-signed. He did re-sign. Sorry. Dwayne Harris, LaMarcus Joyner, Brandon Marshall, J.J. Nelson, Jalen Richard re-signed too. And Jalen Richard, he was another guy that when Marshawn went down, people went scrambling for Jalen Richard on the waiver wire because he has that ability to pop off on a big play. And that's me and Manny were talking about this the other day. That anytime a running back one goes down, everyone always goes looking for their backup.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think the issue with the Raiders, they're throwing shit at the wall and they're trying to see what sticks.
Oh,
they're trying to do like a million sort of little things to jump from first to last to first, but I don't think it's going to work because I don't think John Gruden's a smart coach.
No.
I think John Gruden's days are over.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like they're trying to make up with talent, but when you don't have a coach to steer that talent in the right direction, I don't think it's going to do anything.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting a ton out of the Raiders this year, except just some entertaining bickering and fighting.
Manny wanted to talk sleepers, and I know mine.
Brandon Cooks is a sleeper this year. He's ranked at 14, so I think he's most likely probably going to fall to like a late third round or fourth round. If you can get him in the fourth round, he is a sleeper because last year I had him. He kept popping off for he is streaky, but he did well most of the season. Either he'll score like 20 to 15 points, like around like that range. Some games last year he'd only have 6 because he is a big player, but. The way that offense runs, they're probably going to be taking more shots down the field this year because of, we don't know how Todd Gurley's health is going to be, so they're probably going to be passing a lot more. And I think, Brandon Cooks is a really good
got
option.
2 for you. Mm-hmm. Darius Geis, Kenyon Drake. Those are my 2.
Now we're just going sleepers all around, right?
Yeah.
Sleepers, yep.
Okay. Yeah, Kenyon Drake, I feel will have a good year.
Kenyon Drake and Darius Geis.
I always think Golden Tate's like one of those sleepers, but now that he's on the Giants, I just have no faith that he's actually gonna like do anything. It's not his fault. It's just like it is his fault for signing there, but it's not like necessarily him.
I don't know if Eli Golden Tate will mesh together.
Yeah, I don't think he'll mesh together either. My only hope is that Eli just says, F it, I'm just going to throw to Golden Tate the entire year and just completely. They have Sterling Shepard too, but I just don't put any trust in.
Let me hear
my 2 sleepers.
Let me hear them.
Both running backs, Latavius Murray.
Nice, that's a good one.
Sony Michel.
That's another guy I picked up in the late rounds last year. He turned out really well.
Patriots are slowly morphing into a run-first team. They have a great offensive line, ground and pound. He'll pick up a lot. And he's not going to give you a ton of 60-yard runs, but he'll give you consistent 4 or 5 yards of carry.
Because Brady will move it down the field. They'll get it to within the red zone, within 5 yards, and they'll punch it in with Sony Michel, and those give you solid fantasy points every single week. They'll be consistent.
Mm-hmm. So this was posted on Sunday Night Football on NBC, their Instagram. It says, choose a running back tandem 2019. Kamara and Murray, Michelle and White, Carson and Penny, or another duo.
Wait, who's the third one?
Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, Seattle.
Okay.
Dude,
who are you guys going? For fantasy. If you could.
I had to look at it. Let me see.
I mean,
I'm going Austin Eckler and Melvin Gordon. I'm going other. How about you guys?
I think I go Michelle and White. I think
they
so.
both
Michelle and White
and a PPR especially.
I mean, I might get a lot of hate for this, but I love the Seattle duo of
Chris Carson and Rashad Penny.
And that.
Yeah, but when Russell Wilson has dropped 60 dropbacks in the game though.
Weren't they with the number 1 rushing team?
Yeah, but most of their carries were by Russell Wilson. That's the thing. They didn't have a lot of
Chris Carson in a year. You had Chris Carson,
but most of their yards from rushing came from just Russell Wilson scrambling.
Mm-hmm. And that leads into my sleepers. One of them I do have is Chris Carson, who's ranked number 24. I mean, I don't think a lot of people know about him.
I agree with that. He had a good year.
Yeah.
Quiet good year.
Very quiet.
He was punching some in if he did. So he was doing it both ways. He was doing it rushing yardage and he was scoring. He had a quietly great year in fantasy.
I love Chris Carson.
I know. I'm pissed that I dropped him. I dropped him before he started popping off, but he had a really quiet year. He was really good.
And how about this, right? Wide receiver sleeper, Sammy Watkins.
I got one for you. I've been on this guy since he came into the league.
Oh my God.
Kenny Golladay.
I saw that one coming.
What you guys think? He's a sleeper.
How many of those intended passes from Matthew Stafford get picked off? That's all.
That's literally.
Or go wide over his head.
I like Kenny Golladay. I like how he's built. I like how he plays.
6'4". He's fast. He's a big, deep threat. Big red zone.
Stafford. He screws him.
Matthew Stafford's making some pretty good dough from Detroit right now.
I mean,
Detroit's got to sell tickets.
But hey, Sammy Watkins, right? Tyreek Hill, that whole situation. He's going to need to step up. So I think Sammy Watkins will.
We talked about this earlier, though. Sammy Watkins has always been that guy that there's just so much potential, and he just always lets you down.
I think he bounces. I think with a good quarterback, a good system.
Speaking of KC, I think if Damian Williams is doesn't really live up to what he was in the second half of the season, I think Carlos Hyde is a good sleeper.
Yeah. Carlos Hyde is a good. I can
see him assuming that Damian Williams doesn't live up to what he was at the second half of the season, which I don't think he will.
How about this one? Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay.
I saw that. I think
he played well last year.
Taking over for Deshaun Jackson, right? Yep. So, I mean,
to Philly.
Safe pick.
I think so.
Safe pick is a good flex there. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a world beater, but I have no issue picking him.
Definitely a good flex. If you can get Chris Godwin.
So the thing with wide receivers last year, and this is the story of running backs this year. There's not very many wide receiver 1 last year, but there was just so many wide receiver 2s. And that's what it is with running backs this year. There's not many RB1s, but there's plenty of RB2s.
Exactly. You can never go wrong.
And that's
depth.
You mentioned Kenny Galladay a little bit ago. How do you feel about AJ Green?
He's always just a safe pick. Yeah. Not as high as he usually goes.
Because the thing is, we all had that same groan because he has Matt Stafford. AJ Green has Andy Dalton, who's even worse. So I mean But I think AJ Green's more talented than
AJ Green. So I mean, it's sort of and he's more established.
You know what I mean? I would rather have the safer
pick. They got
ESPN
has AJ Green ranked at 13.
And Kenny at 16.
I didn't even realize They're pretty much neck and neck. Only Brandon Cooks and Stephon Diggs between them. Stephon Diggs at 15 kind of surprised me.
Yeah, I mean this.
That's probably because he has Kirk Cousins throwing to him though.
I don't like these lists, but.
He got the Brinks truck and ran.
So what about the tight end?
Tight end's always a tough position in fantasy.
It's still Gronk. I don't care what anyone says. It's still Gronk, and he's not even playing.
Kelsey and Ertz. Kelsey and Ertz are.
I think it's Ertz. If I had to be really honest, it's probably Ertz.
I think it's Ertz too.
I think it's. Kelsey.
Kittle's another guy.
I think it has to be Kelsey, especially.
I like Kelsey.
Tyreek Hill, assuming he's out for at least 4, he should be out for at least 4 games.
Like I said, Kittle, put him in that conversation.
Kyle Rudolph's really low. He's at 21.
Kyle Rudolph, he didn't live up to those expectations last year.
My guy Trey Burton at number 15. I was huge on Trey Burton last year.
Jimmy Graham, he's still on. Is he? Is this? Yeah, he is still on Green Bay. So I think this year, if you can get Jimmy Graham in the late rounds, take a chance on him because the offense. I know he's
been quiet ever since he left New Orleans.
Yeah, he has been quiet. He had a couple moments in Seattle when we went to Green Bay. He was rarely used because of that old offense.
Unfortunately, one of his biggest plays in Seattle, he later. On that same play.
You know what I love this year?
Yeah.
You know it's a good, solid tight end you can start every week? David Njoku.
I said that.
Yeah, but I think he's going to get lost in the shuffle.
I think so too. I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I could see him having a couple, red zone.
That's why the thing that scares me with the Cleveland offense is I wouldn't touch a running back because Kareem Hunt, you don't know what they're going to do if Kareem Hunt comes back off the suspension. Baker Mayfield's one that's just, I definitely would touch. Odell.
You would touch Baker Mayfield?
As in pick him.
Oh, okay.
Odell, obviously. Odell, you can't go wrong with Odell. He'll play well.
I think Vance McDonald's too high.
Vance. Oh yeah.
He's on 9.
I know, but now that AB's not there.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but Jesse James is still there.
Pittsburgh tight ends.
Jesse James isn't even on this list.
Yeah, 24 at the bottom.
Oh,
he's on Detroit though.
Oh yeah, he did. I went to Detroit.
Pittsburgh tight ends, I just don't trust.
Good for Jesse James. Jesse James.
They're just not that good.
So how about that tight end situation in Indianapolis? You have
Jack Doyle,
and Eric Ebron. I think this year, Jack Doyle will.
Who said Andrew Luck don't have weapons?
Exceed.
I'm looking at you down there, Andrew.
Hey.
I think he will exceed Eric Ebon's numbers this year. Kind of a bold prediction, but I wouldn't say bold, but I think
Jack Doyle's always been kind of like a guy that just hovers on the waiver wires, and you're like, oh, you need a plug-in tight end? Jack Doyle.
OJ Howard was the guy who like hovered around the waiver wires last year.
He was good. He was catching. He was
good.
catching a lot of touchdowns.
It was just the injuries. Like it wasn't. It was like the week to week stuff. He never really got like that big like injury, but it was just like like, oh, he's questionable this week. They only put him out for like 5 snaps. He's a bust for that week, and you start him. So
Delaney Walker's been my guy since I started running fantasy.
Trey Burton's also.
Trey Burton. I ditched Delaney Walker last year for Trey Burton. Trey Burton didn't put too much up for me.
I think Eric Ebron is too low because he did lead the league in tight ends with 13 touchdowns for tight ends.
Yeah.
Which I found that pretty crazy.
I don't think he's going to repeat a year like that.
No,
he's not going to repeat a year like that, but
I think he's going to be solid.
Yeah,
solid,
I think he.
I could see him going for 7 or 8 touchdowns.
Can Greg Olsen stay healthy, you think?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I love Greg Olsen.
I want him to, but I don't think he can. I think it's just like it's a little bit too late in his career where he can like fight those.
Another thing that
injuries.
really concerns me is the Cam Newton shoulder situation. That's another thing that really concerns me. Why he's number 6. Because there was a report that he was way earlier in the season, like March, like right at the start of the offseason, saying Cam Newton might miss the whole year.
I don't know. Maybe that celibacy thing might help him.
Maybe. But I think I'm worried about if you take Greg Olsen, you have that worry about Greg Olsen getting hurt and Cam Newton getting hurt.
Right.
And that's the type of things you got to think about when it comes to fantasy football. That's why I wouldn't touch Cam Newton this year, because just that fear of the shoulder. And that's another same with Greg Olsen. He was a stud, and now he just can't stay healthy. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I mean, also feel bad for the guy, but I mean he has great talent.
He does.
Great pure talent. So if he can stay healthy, I definitely would say.
You know who else is a sleeper? Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard.
I've loved Jordan Howard in Chicago. I think he was kind of like a Zeke. But he didn't have the expectations Zeke had. Yeah. That 20 carries. I was okay getting 100 yards out of Jordan Howard. Because his name wasn't Zeke Elliott. If you guys are following what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
Zeke, that name.
Same type of back.
It's the same type of back, exactly. And he's putting up solid numbers. And I think they're going to be, it's going to hurt Tariq Cohen, and it's going to hurt because that Jordan Howard's gone. And I think Jordan Howard's going to be good in Philly because I can see them running that kind of offense that they tried with J.J. that didn't quite work.
No, J.J. That did not work at all.
Speaking of Jordan Howard in Chicago, the Bears defense in general, who's the big get this year? I mean, I
never touch a defense. I play it weekly.
I think the Bears. I think the Patriots defense this year
is going to be solid.
Very. It's going to be very. They're always weirdly at the top of scoring defenses every year, and nobody ranks them that high except for maybe the 1 year where they had like Chandler Jones and Jamie Collins and all of them. But I think now that Jamie Collins is back, I think the Pats defense.
You got the Dolphins twice a year. You got the Jets twice.
Yeah, you got a bunch of Bills. You got a bunch of terrible offenses.
But their schedule does get tough in the middle of the year. We talked about that.
They do.
On the episode with Spiking, it does get pretty tough.
Yeah.
They got at Philly, at home against Dallas, at Houston, and Kansas City.
Yeah.
But Kansas City's defense isn't.
A lot of
petrified.
I feel like people don't also. I feel like they just focus on the defensive part. They also have to keep in mind special teams.
That can take it to the house.
Yeah.
And the Pats special teams is number one almost every year, or like close to number one. Over
they're gonna be bumming out missing our guy Cordell Patterson.
Nah, fuck Cordell Patterson. Yeah, that ring don't mean shit. No.
Thank you for your time, though, Cordell.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
We appreciate that interview, but that was a trash answer.
I was not expecting.
When he said that after the interview, we both looked at each other. It's like, did he really just like say that? Because that was the last thing I would expect. Because that's probably the only ring he's gonna get, unless unless the Bears.
Chicago's
Chicago
good.
Wins.
Chicago will make
Well, this is a guy who has a way heightened idea of who he really is. He thinks he's a number one receiver. He's going to go out there and be Jerry Rice now. So.
What's annoying? What's annoying is that he could be if he just had hands. He's built. He
could be if he knew how to run a route.
He's built like the ideal.
Go straight, Cordell. Go straight. That's all you got to do. That was the Patriots offense last year.
He's built like the ideal wide receiver. He's got the speed. He's got the height. It's really the hands because Randy Moss was obviously a much better route runner than Cordell Patterson. I'm not comparing the two, but Randy Moss, what he did was run down the field almost like 80% of the time, go up and get the ball because that's what those type of receivers do. And he's built like one of those type of receivers.
He's big,
but he just doesn't have the hands. And I think he was a waste. He was a first rounder, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was a wasted first rounder when he was drafted.
Yeah, like 26, 25 overall. I mean, he wasn't a top 10 pick, but he was.
I think Chicago is gonna win their division again. I don't see Green Bay I don't see Green Bay beating them. I don't see Minnesota beating them, and I certainly don't see Detroit beating them.
I can see Green Bay as like a 6th, 5th seed.
Here's the thing we talked about with Spike too is that offense is going to have to put up 30 points a game.
Exactly.
So at some points, Mitchell Trubisky is going to have to get his boys to put up 30 points a game to win games. That defense can't carry them. It's not like the Broncos in 2016 or the old Bears.
Agreed.
It's not like that. It's that team is going to have to that Trubisky and that offense is going to have to put up 30 points a game to win at some points, which we talked about with the spiking, and I agree with that. And I honestly think Trubisky can. That's like I said earlier in the show, I'm big on Trubisky. So I think they can. I think Chicago's legit again. Do I think they go to the Super Bowl? No. Do I think they go to the playoffs and they get a win in the playoffs? Yes.
They'll still win their division, but their crutch is going to be Mitch Trubisky. That team lives and dies with him. If he does well, they're going to do well. If he does, and I'm not saying because he's the most important. I'm not trying to make it seem like the Bears' defense isn't.
Well,
you know what I'm trying to say, right?
He doesn't have a running back that he can just hand the ball off to anymore.
Well, no, I just think my point is the Bears will win if Mr. Trubisky plays well, and I'm not saying that he's Tom Brady and he's going to carry this team. He's not going to carry this team.
But he can have bad games and that they can still win because of that defense.
Well, yeah, you also have to keep in mind they're inches away from beating Philly in the playoffs. Cody Parkey missing that field goal.
Yeah. And then you can flip that.
Yeah.
You're right.
You also have to keep that in mind. Trubisky did pull through.
He played well. He did play well in that.
I'm just
he can play in the playoffs.
The Bears will only go as deep as Mr. Trubisky takes them.
The double doink.
But definitely, if you could get the Bears defense.
Where are you? I said, I play defenses weekly.
So where are you guys taking Jarvis Landry since Odell's in Cleveland?
I think Jarvis Landry is a flex at best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think even without Odell, he's a flex at best.
I've never really viewed him as a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 2. I've always viewed him as a flex.
I honestly think it frees up.
I'm afraid to start Jarvis Landry in the flex.
I think it frees up space, from week to week. It will free up space on the field because you have an Odell, you have Njoku. He's always short, but I don't think there's a lot of guys that can. I don't think there's a lot of good second corners in the league that can just lock up a guy like Jarvis Landry. I'm not saying Jarvis Landry is a top 10 wide receiver, but he's a pretty solid second receiver.
Well, yeah, it also depends on who they put on.
Because Juju Smith, with Antonio Brown, he'd still have a bunch of solid weeks, and he's the second option there, or was at least.
Yeah. I do want to get a little playoff predictions, just because I'm curious to hear what you guys think.
Okay. So stepping away from the fantasy.
We'll step away from the fantasy a little bit for those who don't play fantasy.
Yes.
Hey, don't get on me, man. I like to watch the games just for the fun.
And that's exactly why I switch. I want to get you a little more involved here. So let's go through divisions and who we think's going to win each division.
Are we going by seeding, or are we just east to west?
Do you want to just go by winning, divisions winning?
Yeah.
Or who divisions? The 6 teams in the playoffs. We'll do the 16. Yeah. All right, we'll do 16 playoffs by seed.
Yep.
All right.
AFC.
I think it's either Pats or KC.
Pats at 12-4. KC right below them.
That's generous. I don't think the Pats. I think KC's still better.
I think the New England. We talked about it. I think New England's going 12-4. in my opinion. I think KC's right below them. Then
KC, you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna be K. But they're both gonna be 12-4. Pats are gonna get the tiebreaker against KC.
Where is that game this year?
It's in New England.
It's in New England.
Well,
is it a 4:30 game? I think I saw that on the schedule.
Oh,
flex that to Sunday night.
right?
Yeah.
Come on.
They have time to change it.
I actually have
You made one there?
Yeah, I made one. So I have New England as the first seed.
I got
Indianapolis at the second seed. I think they will.
I got them at I got them at 4.
You have them beating KC. Wow,
Ballsy.
that is ballsy. Andrew Luck gonna have to ball out. He's gonna be if Andrew Luck can beat KC
at Lucas Oil Stadium, I honestly think.
Oh, at home then maybe.
I honestly think this is Andrew Luck's.
I think Indy's defense will be a little bit better this year because didn't what's his face almost win like defensive rookie of the year?
Darius Leonard.
Yeah, I like Darius Leonard.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be New England, KC, Cleveland because they're gonna win the AFC North easily.
I have Baltimore in the NFC North.
Nope.
I don't think behind Lamar.
Yeah, not behind Lamar Jackson as your quarterback.
No,
unless he has like an RG3 type of season, I don't see them winning a lot of games.
Well, I had the Browns as the 5th.
So I think.
And then the Chargers
I think Cleveland will be the 3 because they're going to win the division easily.
I think the Chargers.
And then I think Indy at 4, 5 and 6. I can see the Chargers sneaking in there.
Yeah, Chargers.
The Chargers always end up like in the wild card.
So I can see the Chargers.
So we can all agree we have New England, Indianapolis, Cleveland, KC, Chargers, all in the playoffs.
So I got my seeding goes KC's the 1, New England's the 2, Indy's the 3, Pittsburgh's the 4.
Oh, Pittsburgh. No way!
Houston's the 5, Cleveland's the 6.
I can see Houston.
The only reason I'm giving Pittsburgh the division over Cleveland is I don't know how good Freddie Kitchens is.
They already made their first mistake of the season, not taking Greg Williams.
I don't know if Fred Kitchens. What's his last name?
Freddie Kitchens.
Kitchens.
Every baker needs their kitchen. Remember that.
Okay, thank you. No, that's a good numeric device. Thank you.
There you go.
No, I don't think Freddie Kitchens is going to be. He's never been tested as a coordinator, nonetheless a head coach. So.
But we know what Mike Tomlin is. I think we should give,
Yeah, he's a guy who's won his division not 8 years in a row, but he's pretty much kept Pittsburgh at the top of that division for a decade now.
All this league is about is what have you done for me lately, and you haven't done. Mike Tomlin hasn't done shit for anybody lately. Yeah. I think that locker room got way out of his control. I think it went over everybody's, and it's not all his fault. Antonio Brown's toxic. But I think between Big Ben and Antonio Brown going head to head, I don't think he took control of that locker room.
And I completely hear your point, and it's a great point. But all I'm saying, I'd rather stick with the devil I know than the devil I don't. And I don't know what Freddie Kitchens is. That's all I'm saying.
Greg Williams should have had that job, and that was a mistake.
And I just don't know.
That's why I said I don't know how that locker room's going to look. That's why I said that earlier in the show, because I don't know how that locker room's going to look. Because I don't know about Freddie Kitchens. And I like how you touched on that, because that's why I said that earlier. Because I think if Greg Williams was there, I wouldn't have that thought. Mm-hmm. But I didn't see enough about Freddie Kitchens. Greg Williams took over that team, not Freddie Kitchens. And he should have been handed that team. And I don't know why he wasn't. I really don't. Yeah. He did a great job when he took over last year without Odell, without Kareem Hunt. He did a great job. And they've only gotten better. He should have been handed that team. That was a mistake.
But let's move to the NFC.
NFC, yeah. I have
New Orleans at the 1.
I have the Chicago at the 1.
I put Chicago at 2. New Orleans
Chicago,
at 1. And then think about it. New Orleans, they'll go through Carolina, Atlanta, and Tampa easy.
Yeah. I
can see Chicago splitting with Green Bay at Lambeau. I can see it possibly. Going into US Bank Stadium in Minnesota could be tough. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's New Orleans, then Chicago at the 2.
Who's winning? Who's winning the NFC East?
NFC East.
The shit bowl. Dallas.
I got Dallas.
It's Dallas.
I have Philly.
I think it's Dallas.
I got Dallas at 10-6. And
I feel like there's gonna be trouble.
Philly at
I
9-7.
feel like Dallas this year. I feel like they'll go a solid like 10-6.
What you got Philly going then?
I got Philly going on, not like 9-7.
I got that.
I don't
too.
trust Carson Wentz.
Yeah. I think it's
like
Dallas.
11-5.
No, too high. I think it's with that being said,
Bears,
New Orleans, Chicago.
Yeah, Bears I got going 11-4.
And then it would be L.A. The Rams would be at the 3 because I don't see anyone stopping them. I don't see anyone stopping them in the NFC West.
No.
I don't. So Rams at the 3.
Yeah.
4 I think would be Dallas. 5, that's where you can play a little bit. And 6, just because it happens every year, the Seahawks. They always find a way to sneak in there.
Yeah,
They always just butt their heads in there, say, all right, let's have a mediocre season. Hello, I'm here. Don't sleep on me on the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Rams are gonna have another like high win total type of season.
You can't count out the Rams. The core's young. Mm-hmm. Sean McVay's a good coach. They're gonna. Nobody's gonna stop them.
They're gonna have another high seed.
I think they split against Seattle.
I think
they'll Arizona. And they roll over San Fran.
I think they go like 12-4, and the Seahawks go like 11-5, maybe 10-6.
That's another thing you can't count out because of talent.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs, Dalvin Cook, all those guys we touched on earlier. And I'm not giving up on Kirk Cousins yet. They must have saw something if they paid him $80 million.
I think the NFC South division is going to do like garbage outside of the Saints. I don't see the Falcons doing good.
I think the Falcons.
I see the Falcons maybe at like 500.
They'll finish at a modest 8-8.
Yeah.
I think the Panthers will have
I think they're 7-9.
I think the Bucks finish 8-8 too.
The Bucks.
I see them finish like.
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think they'll be better than they were last year, but they're not a 500 team.
I think they're
not even 7-9. They're like 6-10.
Yeah, I see them like 6-10.
Yeah, I like 6-10.
But regardless, I don't think any. I think
Green Bay sneak in the playoffs.
I can't see it.
I can see. Green Bay will be slept on this year because I like I said, I think you got a new head coach. I think Aaron Rodgers has more room to like navigate and like his offense, like his playbook will expand outside of like the short, like they literally have like a high school playbook over there at Green Bay with McCarthy. But I think
that's true.
I think they're gonna have a much more complex than McCarthy.
But they can have that playbook, but it's not the offense that scares me because I think Jamal Williams, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, I think they're good. Jimmy Graham, all of them, they have talent on offense. It's the defense.
Yeah,
the defense is what concerns me. That's why I can't see them getting past.
I mean, I could see them winning at least one game against the Bears.
I said that.
In Lambeau, I can see them. I can see them win both against the Vikings, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lost one of those. And then obviously both against the Lions because the Lions are trash.
So who do we see coming out?
I have the NFC shaken out this way. I got the Saints on top, followed by the Rams, Bears, Cowboys, Eagles the 5, and then the 6 I think is a toss-up.
I think toss-up.
I safe pick is probably the Seahawks, but it really is a toss-up between them.
I kind of just threw the Seahawks.
I think Carolina or Atlanta can sneak in there. Yeah. San Francisco might have a shot.
I don't think Carolina's going to sneak in there. I think Atlanta.
I got
if they can turn things around, maybe.
But if Cam Newton performs and Chris McCaffrey, how can you say Carolina's out of it? I mean, yeah, they don't. I'm not saying they're the favorite, but if they perform and Cam Newton's shoulder's fine.
Fair.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a toss-up. I'm not confident to say that you can't count him out.
To be clear, to clarify this, I still think I would take McCaffrey high even without him because he's still a dump-down guy. He can still ball out.
Yeah.
He's going to have a hell of a year.
So, to be clear, for anyone confused, I'd still take McCaffrey high. I don't think Cam Newton's going to make him better, but Cam Newton is going to hurt his play if he goes down. I think McCaffrey's still going to ball out.
For the NFC, though, back to that, I think I'd take...
So, who do we have in the Super Bowl?
I got
way too early Super Bowl.
Way too early.
I got for the the NFC I got Saints, Rams, Bears like you said. Then I got the Cowboys.
Can I start off?
Then I got Green Bay, and then I got the Eagles.
All right.
That's like mine.
Yeah.
For the Super Bowl, I'll start off. It's bound to happen. We're due for one. Brady Breeze.
That's exactly what I have.
We are due for
Our
a Brady
first
Breeze
ever
Super Bowl.
I think it's
Super
gonna.
Bowl.
It's gonna be Brady Breeze or some elite quarterback.
Here's my second option.
Or Brady Rogers
Brady
somehow.
Breeze. It's gonna be Brady Breeze.
Somehow, I think Rogers could he's got
or
that.
Mahomes Breeze. I think the Saints go to the NFC. I don't see anyone stopping them in the NFC.
I think this is I think they finally get that chance to go to the Super Bowl.
They should have been there last year.
They should have.
I mean, what elite quarterback has Brady? Like, I'm not knocking Brady at all, but what elite quarterback has they've gone head to head against? Russell Wilson. Can you name another one? Matt Ryan had that 1 year.
Donovan McNabb when he would that
McNabb. Kurt Warner.
McNabb. Yeah, that's another good one. We're gonna get Jake Delhomme, by the way. Man, what a godsend he was.
Well, recently, as of recent,
No. As of recent.
No, yeah, you're right. But I think it's gonna be the Saints. I don't see anyone stopping them in the NFC. I really can't.
No, I got the Saints.
I honestly,
And
everyone says that every year. But I was saying it last year, and it pisses me off to watch that video because they should have been in the Super Bowl, and it's annoying that they weren't.
Just to be clear, by elite quarterback, I mean Breeze, like Peyton. I'm not saying I'm not knocking
quarterbacks.
I'm not knocking Kurt. I mean like all time quarterbacks.
Oh, okay, because we were saying elite because at the time McNabb was like
McNabb was elite. But I'm talking about
I don't think.
You're right.
Breeze,
like
Manning, Favre, those type
I
of
don't think
quarterbacks.
anyone's stopping New Orleans. I really just this year I can full-heartedly say it. Nobody's stopping them. I said it last year. The only one that stopped them is something out of their control. The referees. In the AFC, New England. I think it's New England. My safety, KC.
Yeah, it's either it's New England,
think?
KC toss up, and then New Orleans. I
think New Orleans runs the NFC. I can see another 13-3 year.
I think this year, I know like last year they were saying, oh, there's no way they could win in KC. But this year, especially, I really do think Brady needs home field this year.
And
I think
they get it.
season
I
for the
think
Pats
they
is
get
going
it
to be
at
very,
12-4.
very important this year. Or home field advantage will be very
important. And I think putting this out there now, come after right around Thanksgiving, I think Brady's going to say Gronk, hey, we need you, buddy. And I think he's coming back.
Week 8 because I think when they do the ring ceremony, or not the ring ceremony, but the the raising the banner, Gronk's
he's gonna be out there.
Yeah, Gronk's gonna be out there. I think like pregame stuff. You see the people working out. I think he's gonna get a little nostalgic. He's be like, man, I kind of miss this.
But if he's not out there when they do that, I think then all right, you know what?
Yeah, I think that.
See you later.
All signs are pointing towards Gronk being out there.
If he does decide to come back, he needs to start gaining weight again.
Oh,
he's
definitely.
Looking really
he's lost
thin.
a lot of weight.
But he's still. Everyone's knocking him.
I
Big dude.
To get back in football shape, I think Gronk needs at least like 2 to 3 months, which I think he'll be back around
if he's
week
coming
8.
November, he needs to start training in September.
Yeah.
I mean, he was throwing the ball around Brady not too long ago.
Yeah, they were training. I think it was like the UCLA.
Are we all in agreement that he's coming back?
No, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion.
I think Vegas odds had him at 50 or 60% coming back.
I think he's coming back.
Like that.
I think he's good. I didn't even think about. I haven't heard anything about the ring ceremony. I didn't even think about that. The raising of the banner.
That already happened.
The raising of the banner. I meant.
Raising the banner.
Come week 1, that Sunday night.
If he's there, which he most likely will be. And I think when he sees all his old teammates, out there,
he's gonna be like, "Oh shit, time for me to get in the gym and get ready to go."
Yeah,
so he takes that half a season off. He doesn't concern about injuries and whatnot.
He's concerned
fresh
about
legs come week 8. Oh, that's a difference.
I think the second half of the season he'll get back into the swing of things. First 3 or 4 games, last couple weeks, you only have KC that. The only last 4 games you only have KC as the hard ones, and then the last 3 are I think 2 of them are interdivision bums, and then I think I can't think of off the top of my head.
Week for the Pats.
Yeah, for the last 4 the last 4 weeks.
The last 4 weeks they get
it's KC.
Cincinnati, Buffalo, Miami, And no, they got KC in the middle of the season. The last.
I know it was like one of those like the little like kind of like hard part of the season. I know it was like one of those. I'm pretty sure it was KC.
It does get tough for them.
Yeah. It does. But regardless, I think he starts like getting back in the flow of things. They start targeting him more later in the season if he comes back week 8. And then you basically all this is just leading up to saving him for the playoffs, and then you'll have him like come alive in the playoffs, which he couldn't really do last year because of all like he was just like getting a lot of like unreported injuries, but injuries and like the reoccurring type of stuff, not the serious.
I mean, I'm nitpicking here, but don't you think that the Pats' bye week is week 10? He might not just come back till week 11. I know, like week 8, week 11, 3 week difference, but I just feel like he probably.
What day will week 10 be?
It's mid-November, like right.
It is.
It's like
so,
it's right around the time.
I could see.
But all I'm saying is like, why would he come back week 8 when the bye week's gonna be he's gonna play like 2 games and then for that's all I'm saying.
I can see him come week 11.
Yeah,
that makes more sense because it gives him more time.
But
I think you're right there.
The last 4 games are KC at New England.
And then they get
you go to Cincinnati, which that should be a win.
It's a home game.
No, Cincinnati's.
Well, it's a home game in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah. Then you're in New England with the Bills, and then in New England with the Dolphins, which they should be like
And if by then Rosen's starting, it's gonna be 50-10.
So, wait, Rose is not the foreground. Like he's not the starter.
He's actually
right
the
now?
underdog to start right now.
Really?
Fitzpatrick is supposed to.
They're crazy. They're crazy.
Fitzpatrick.
I think Fitzpatrick might start the beginning of the season, but Rosen will end the season, just like happened in Tampa Bay.
I agree with that, and I think we talked about this on the last NFL episode. In Miami, week 2, I think they lose because of Fitzpatrick starting, and he's always giving the Patriots trouble. Strangely, always, and so is Miami. I think a mixture of them two.
In Miami.
Yeah, it's the hot weather.
In Miami.
I think if it stays under like 80, 82 degrees, I think we win.
Good luck.
Anything, anything above that, I think.
In Miami, September is gonna still be touching 90.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us.
Glad to be here.
You
Thanks for
guys had a good time.
Thanks for having me too.
We'll catch you guys in the next episode.
time.